Hey, good evening, everybody. This is our first collaboration between Jason and I. Um, introduce Jason, Everyday Card Collector. What's
Hey
up,
everybody,
man?
how you doing?
So Jason and I had a talk, and we decided thought it'd be a fun concept to do a cardboard and cold ones. I don't know. I came up with that. Actually, Jason, I didn't even tell you.
I think it's perfect.
Cool. All right. Yeah, this is a trial. I went to some sort of podcast name generator and typed in vintage baseball cards and beer, and out it spewed a bunch of different names, and I thought this one stuck pretty well.
That is perfect.
So, I mean, if there's any difference of opinion, we can work it out. But if you're happy with
No,
that.
I'm good with it all day long.
Cool.
I actually thought it was pretty ingenious, so it worked for me.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to my buddy Tom, because Tom gave me this Mets 76 place mat, and he told me specifically this would be good for your beer. And I said, you're absolutely right. So it is sitting with my pint of Yingling tonight, and that's my specialty. But I know, Jason, you got your special. You got your what are those, like 24s? I can't remember.
I think they're 16s. I went out and
16s.
I kind of blended what some of the things, beyond collecting baseball cards. I love music, so I went out and bought some special beers, and the first one I got was my Iron Maiden beer, and that is it's brewed in England. Obviously, Iron Maiden's from England. It's the Trooper, one of their most famous songs, and it's an ale. So I've had it before, and it's a good beer. So I definitely wanted to get that. And then I ran into my favorite band of all time is Rush. I love Rush.
Yeah.
It's my favorite band of all time by far. And I thought it was only in Canada, but they, in fact, are brewing it here now. It's in Minnesota. They're actually brewing it in Minnesota. So this is an ale.
That's
so
pretty cool.
I've got the Iron Maiden lager, or a hybrid lager, and the Rush ale. So I'm gonna crack the Iron Maiden one first, because I've had it before. So we'll start with that. So
yeah,
cheers on the maiden voyage of cards and cold brew.
Cards and cold ones. Absolutely, cheers. So I wanted to start this off with a special guest, and while he's not the biggest beer man, he is definitely has his fine taste of bourbon. That is none other than Mr. LouRokTV. What's up?
There
What's
he
up,
is.
homie? What's up?
What's going on, Lou?
Jay, what happened? Your wife kicked you to the guest room or something? Or what's
Well,
going
yeah,
on?
it's funny you should say that. We were this is going to be the future card room. And
Okay.
I'm in the process of getting this set up. This was my oldest daughter's room, and she's got an apartment in downtown Chicago now. So
Yeah.
I've done videos out of here on occasion. So there is no cards behind me, but I brought a bunch of stuff up if we start flashing cards. So
I'm sure you're getting the ideas.
yes.
So many ideas, shelving.
Oh,
frames.
I'm ready to rock everything now. Because I'm doing this, the whole basement needs to be redone, because it was my man cave, and my wife wants to redo the entire basement. So that'll cost me a little more money, but it's worth every penny.
This should be so. The thing that, I mean, obviously the hot topic is Willie Mays' passing, and I know there's a lot of tribute videos that were made. As y'all know, I was at the Yankee game that night when the news broke, and I was kind of surprised that, I mean, I guess in the middle of a game you can't really say anything. It'd just be a weird kind of a break of the game if you were to make mention of it. So it's probably good that they didn't mention it until the next day, which I think they had a moment of silence with all the different teams. But yeah, I know, Jason, you texted me about it, and I know
I was watching LouRok's live, so we were all watching his live and having a good time. And I don't even know who came on first, but someone said R.I.P. Willie, and I said, "Are you serious?" And then it started kind of snowballing on the chat. So and then shortly after, I just texted you. I'm like, oh, I didn't see Sammy on here, so I got to text him. So yeah, now, I mean, and that all kind of coincides, right? So you've got Juneteenth which is why they were doing this Rickwood game that's going on right now. And he played for the Birmingham Black Barons. So then there's a tribute to him going on, prior to the game. And it's just crazy how it all kind of coincides together. We were talking about him like 5 or 6 days ago, Sammy, about his prices being down. And like, I think he's undervalued and, and what's going to happen if he ever passes. And then literally like 3 or 4 days later.
Well, it's crazy. When my wife and I were waiting in line, I don't know if Lou, have you ever been to Yankee Stadium for a game?
Yep.
You know how crazy, especially the really like the rival games, when you're waiting in those, like the line to get in, it takes a while to get in.
When did you get there?
I got there probably about 6:30, 6:40.
Wow.
And we got in there about it took about 20 minutes to get through the line, but as a kid, just growing up, I don't remember the games being that intense to get into. But
I mean, you also remember security is a lot more paramount than it was when we were growing up.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially anything in New York, you have to expect delays. But homie, you can't show up 20 minutes before first pitch. I mean, were you outside when they did the national anthem?
Yeah, I think I walked in right when they were doing the national anthem.
I got 13 stadiums underneath my belt. I like crossing them off, and so the wife knows. I've only been to the new Yankee Stadium one time. I bounced around, but when I go to a new stadium, she already knows the deal. A couple hours before, first pitch, because I want to walk around, see the sights, take pictures. I know Yankee Stadium has a beautiful museum. Obviously, it probably rivals Cooperstown just because of the players and the history and the legacy and the championships. I mean, it's been a couple of years, but I mean, they have like a signed baseball of every Yankee just on the wall. Just it's beautiful. So,
actually, it's funny. Dave, the comment I just put up, Dave. So as we were talking about Willie Mays a second ago, Dave, when I was waiting in line, he sent me a text message. This is before the news broke out about Mays, but he sent me a text message, and I appreciate everybody that does this because they look out for helping me kind of expand my collection. He sends me an eBay listing of the 1955, what is it, All-American not stamps, but they're cutouts.
Yeah. They got it's the 55, right? There's
55.
They've got the Jackie and
yeah. And the big card is like one of the bigger ones of the set is the Bill Russell, but he sent me one of Willie Mays that I think it's still selling right now on eBay. It was a PSA 9, and he sent it to me, and I was just like, that's awesome. Definitely gonna keep it in mind. It's not on the forefront of things right now, but it's definitely something I would move on if it came to it. But it was crazy. I think after the news broke, when my wife and I were coming home in the subway, I was looking at the listing, and I confused it with another one that went up for sale. And I was like, it went from this price and it shot up significantly. I thought, oh, well, I had my chance.
Right.
But it turned out to be a second listing. I thought they just went right through the roof.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a period of mourning, at least for me personally. Like, I always feel icky seeing listings and even looking up Willie Mays cars or anything Willie Mays. I'll just take a little break from that, not that I was looking, he's not a PC guy of mine, but if I come across something, I always, the price is right, I'll pick it up. But
yeah,
especially now, there was going to be a bump.
Yeah, and that's all those questions that we had of what's going to happen. Well, now it's going to come to fruition.
Willie's never been a cheap person, anyways, to have, or
Right. That was the discussions, though, Lou, we had a couple days ago. I was saying he's never been cheap, but in comparison to everybody else, he came at a value. Like, in comparison to, like, Mickey Mantle, Jackie, there were guys like Clemente's climbing real fast.
Clemente's been...
Yeah, so I actually
think about, like, the Mount Rushmore of baseball card collecting, obviously Mantle is the GOAT when it comes to that. Aaron, Jackie, and it's always that fourth guy. Is always Clementa's been super hot the last couple years. Mays, Stan. You know, when it comes to like key cards, those guys are just always in the inner circle. But yeah,
I think Stan's another one who's a little undervalued. You know, I mean,
that's why
as far as hobby, as far as what he did.
I agree. I agree with you. That's why I had an opportunity to get the 48.
And yours is beautiful. I saw your video. Absolutely beautiful.
So yeah, you have to, when you get an opportunity. It's you know what they say. You know, today's high prices are tomorrow's deals. So
exactly right.
So I wanted to I wanted us to show off some Mays cards in honor of his legacy. And I thought, I didn't mention this, but if you guys want to, you're more than welcome to. I wanted to share at least one fun fact about Mays. And so the first one I want to show off, if you don't mind me going first here, is, given the theme, cold brews, or cold ones, cardboard and cold ones, it's not exactly alcoholic, but we're going to go with the Hires root beer. I'm going to show off the issued card first.
No, not whole.
Great looking Willie Mays. It doesn't have the tab, but it's I love the Hires root beer design. They did a whole video on this in terms of how this came to be. And the idea is if you rip the tab off and you send it back to Hires root beer, you become like a member with 2 bottle caps. You become a member of their promotional giveaways, I suppose, and you also get a book, some sort of baseball book with it. As far as my baseball fact about Willie Mays to go with this, he is the only player in baseball history to hit at least 3,000 hits, have a 300 career batting or 300 above or 300 batting average, 300 home runs, and 300 stolen bases. Damn. Only player to accomplish those 4. And it says here, obviously, he exceeded the home runs and the stolen bases and the hits by more, much more, obviously. So, but quite a feat. And it's, yeah. So,
I don't know that I have all the fun facts, but that we all know he was 5'2", like one of the first, not the first 5'2" player in Major League Baseball.
I wish. I have so many. I'm sure you, Sammy, too. Doing this for, I've been on YouTube almost 5 years. The great part of YouTube is all the text threads. And I literally have 10 text threads with like between 5 to 15 people on each thread. And I cannot remember who. I think it was Orlando. It could have been, I can't remember. I think it was Orlando. But it's true. When he moved from New York to San Fran, the weather, the park, he was saying that the attendant over in the stadium was saying he lost so many home runs due to the weather and being so close over there. It's just he lost at least 100 home runs due to the size of the park and the weather out there with the wind. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, they were just saying that I was watching the Rickwood game, and they were just saying how when he was in San Francisco, due to the wind coming off, he lost at least 100. Plus, he missed 2 years, right?
Serving. 2 years served.
I mean, imagine if all things were in his favor, how many homers would he really have had?
He would have passed the Bambino, the great Bambino.
I think so.
I just showed Bob Sandlot, so now she's been saying that she loves Sandlot. But he would have surpassed it. Losing 2 years of his career, serving his country, and then moving to that park in that part of the country, man, he would have hit 750 easy.
You ever watch the video of him when I don't know if they were playing in San Francisco or if they were playing in Los Angeles, but when he goes to the broadcast booth and talks with Vince Scully.
I haven't seen that. That'd be cool. I haven't seen it.
It's great. Like it's Vince Scully. Vince Scully was I think he was a couple of years older than Willie. Must have been maybe, I don't know. I can't remember how old they're, but it's kind of funny because he goes into the booth and Vince Scully is telling him like, "Oh, you were my favorite player to watch," and it's kind of funny to hear Vince Scully because he's been the voice of the Dodgers. He was the voice of the Dodgers for over 50 years,
Right.
or 60 years, and then he asks him like, "Oh, so how old are you now, Willie?" And he tells him how old. He goes, "Oh, you're just a baby. You're just a kid." It just, I mean, like,
Well, Scully started at he was a baby when he started doing games, right? I mean, he was
yeah,
like 20 or something. So
You talk about
yeah, I mean,
having
he
a
was
paintbrush for a voice. The guy,
right.
he just paints a picture. Just awesome.
yeah. Then some of the comments are, yeah. So it was in San Francisco, is what Diamond Gems is saying. Yeah,
Okay.
it makes sense because that's where Willie he lived for the rest of the remainder of his life. So where I live is in the city. I live nearby where Willie, I think, resided when he was with the Giants, and I have some like neighbors in my neighborhood that are old enough to remember Willie Mays passing by the area, and they always he had a pink like a pink Cadillac convertible, and it was like "Say Hey" was the license plate.
That's cool. Well, someone lived by him, and I can't. Was it? It was Rob, baseball time traveler, or
Okay.
someone's dad met him doing like utility work, and that's actually working in Willie Mays' backyard. And I can't remember which channel or who it was. If anybody knows who that is, I thought it was Rob, baseball time traveler. Maybe it was. I don't think it was Greg, but I've heard. I know there's a story out there from someone who does videos where their father was doing utility work and got to meet Willie Mays because they were working in his backyard. And I thought that was that's pretty slick.
If there's any bright side to someone passing, it's hearing all the great stories. Like I didn't know how he got. I was watching a documentary on MLB Network, special for Willie, and they talked about how he got his nickname "Say Hey." I had no idea. I just thought it was something like a catchy saying. Well, it's because he couldn't remember anyone's name.
Right.
He was just like, "Hey, you, hey." They called him "Say Hey, kid."
That is nuts. Oh, Pastor Craig said it was Rob. Okay.
I have a terrible memory.
You know what? I mean, as this YouTube thing grows for me, because I'm the newbie for you guys, and you start clicking on the more channels, you can remember everybody's handle or their channel name, but it's tough remembering all the names. I'm like,
Yeah.
You know when it locks in? National.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you start like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it clicks, you start, little handshake locks it in, dap them up, buy a beer, and it's just memory banks.
There'll be a lot of that going on, I'd imagine. So I don't know, Lou, you got a card? Did you want to show something?
Actually, I just, a couple hours ago, I just saw your Beyond the Cardboard. So I figured I'd do something different because I figured you guys are going to be showing cards. But, as you can see, I like decorating the man cave. There's always a process. Rome wasn't built in a day. In my old house, I just threw everything up. Nothing matched. But now, if it goes on the wall, there's purpose to it. And I've always loved the 60s inserts, the posters. And as you can see, I got 68s, I got 70s, but I have 67s right here. I have a 1967 Topps insert. And these are about 5x7. And I took it down because I figured, it's a nice little switch up. And it's just beautiful. Super minty.
Yeah.
Nice and crispy.
Love it.
It's nice to see the two paired together.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice touch. But the other one has Clemente and Tony Oliva together.
That is awesome.
I'm still going after the mantle. The mantle is actually not too bad in a sense. It's actually pretty reasonable.
Is the mantle going to be a national hunt for you?
It's one of those things like I could jump on eBay and get it.
Yeah,
but I leave certain things for the wild. And that's just one of those things I figured because I have an Al K-line ready to pair up. And I have a K-line, and once I get the mantle, I'll put it up. But I learned from AC. Don't get me wrong. The National is going to be memorable. It's going to be fun because we're hanging out with the homies. We're coming back with cardboard. But I was so focused on getting a 49 Campanella that I missed out on so much other deals. I remember a 73 Schmidt that was stupidly priced. I'm like, I'm gonna come back. And I did the, you hear the videos with the comfortable shoes and water. Write it down. So I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I came back the next day once I gave up on the camping, and the thing is, some of these dealers they'll close up their showcase and they'll bring stuff out and they don't know where they put it. They have multiple people helping them sell stuff, and it's not the same. The showcases are almost never the same.
Right.
And that's why it's also paramount when you do start a conversation and you're chopping it up with the dealer, ask for stuff, because they got stuff not even on the table. They're just ready to start reloading once they start selling. And if you don't ask, it's not going to come up or see the light of day. So, there was a couple things that I regret not getting out the gate on those first 2 days, because I was like, my big purchase is going to be that 49 Campy. At the end of the day, it ended up being, it worked out better for me because my wife crushed it and got me a 49 Campy for Christmas. But yeah, that national, by day 3, I was just buying beer, walking around, hanging with the homies, hoping I ran into it. And I'm not going to make that mistake this time around. If I see my big boy card on day 1, I'm buying it. If I don't see it and see something cool, then that's going to determine the rest of my national. I'm like, oh, okay, this ain't the big boy card, but it's a nice size card. It's going to take a good portion of the budget. So maybe I'm going to be value boxing it the last day.
Why
I have a couple $100 to value box it, because this is taking a third of my budget, even though this isn't the big boy card.
Why the Campanella? What's the interest with that card?
One of the greats. You talk about undervalued players. 3 MVPs, Negro League superstar, and you're talking about. I'm a Yankee guy, storied franchise, but if it ain't the Yankees, it's the Dodgers. The lineage of the Dodgers and the history from Snyder, Robinson, Campanella. The Dodgers are. I love everything about that. So, and the thing is, all the badass cards are catcher cards. If you look at it, the Yogis, the Campanellas. I
agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Shoot, I love Elston Howard. I don't think he gets enough love in the hobby for being a Yankee, first Black AL MVP. He was just stuck behind Yogi. What are you gonna do? Even through Thurman Munson, the catching history of the Yankees, besides Gary Sanchez, is phenomenal.
Bill Dickey, even before
Bill
Yogi.
Dickey, of course, yeah. Bill Dickey was the first, then Yogi, then Elston to Thurman. You could go to Jorge, but yeah, Sanchez kind of ruined it. But Gary Sanchez, I thought he was going to be big. Came up, hit 30 home runs like out the gate.
The tie-in with Jorge, I think Jorge Posada went to Louisville, and that's like the home of bourbon, Lou. So it's a nice segue. What bourbon are you drinking?
Well, I figure, I feel, since I'm with the Everday card collector, Sammy, Everyday people, I went with a simple whiskey, a Johnny Walker Black.
Nice.
My neighbor actually gifted it to me, and I figured I'd crack it. I didn't want to go too deep. I've been crushing my Jefferson Ocean. I have what else I have? I got so much down there, man. But yeah, I figured the Johnny Walker, it was time to crack it. Had it nice and neat, and it's not too shabby. It is Johnny Walker, but I like most of my whiskeys and bourbons neat, or if I feel like mixing it, I'll mix it with an ice cube.
Right.
That's my mixed drink. Like my boy John Mangini, he loves his Jack and Coke, and I try to tell him there's a reason why you mix Jack.
Right. It's that bad. I'll take it even a step farther. I don't drink alcohol. I can't drink brown. I can drink vodka if it's mixed with something, but I don't drink tequila. I don't drink brown drinks. And my oldest daughter graduated from the University of Louisville. So all of my friends would say, hey, we're going to go hit that bourbon trail. So you can go hit it, but they better be serving beer at those places because I can't drink that stuff. Beer is my thing. So Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little bit on the
So many breweries down here in
husky
Florida,
side.
man. You'll enjoy it. But Tito's, I love Tito's, man. Especially
Yeah.
when it's the summer down here, beach season. I gotta stay aerodynamic. I'll do some Tito's and like saltwater water or something like that.
I thought it was just the opposite. I'm ballooning up so that I don't sink. I don't want to. If I hit that water, I'm just gonna float.
You got stuff, or you want me to show what else I got? I just took some things, try to be a little.
Yeah, I got. I'll show one. I don't have the backstory. I just kind of got what I grabbed. I don't have a lot of Mays stuff, and it's certainly not the less or the rarer stuff that Sammy has. Most of mine's mainstream stuff, but I got this at Strongsville, Sammy, and I got this through the gentleman that you pointed me to, the dealer.
Yeah. Steve, yeah.
Yeah, so this was one of the cards that I picked up through him, Richie Ashburn and Willie Mays. I thought this was a fantastic card, and I love, everyday card collector. You want to go cheap? This is the way to go. I love dual player cards. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. And you'll see most of my Mays cards that I'll show today are dual player cards, but I kind of put them in chronological order, and this is actually the oldest Mays that I have. Now I'm building the obviously 56 Hall of Fame run. I'm in the process of doing that. I've just added the 59 to my list as well. So those will be two mazes that I have to pick up. And then we'll kind of take it from there. I've got a couple of his 60s stuff, but we'll kind of let the storm settle a little bit, see what happens at the National, and then take it. So
yeah, Diamond Jim's made a good point. Campanella was playing the Negro Leagues at 15, man. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
But,
so want to share another fun fact about Mays. We'll kind of do this fun fact disbursement throughout the live stream, but I'm kind of going through some fun facts of him. I'll try to read this, kind of shrink this down, but Willie Mays, although obviously known as being a Hall of Fame center field, spent some time. He played first base late in his career, but he did make an appearance as a shortstop in a doubleheader against the Mets on May 31st, 1964. He shifted from center field to shortstop to begin the bottom of the 10th inning. He did not get any action, sadly, so he was just there just to be there. And he spent 3 innings at short before he went back to center field for the remainder of a 23-inning game that ended in a victory, but he only went 1 for 10, so he didn't really have much production. And Gaylord Perry earned the win after 10 scoreless innings in relief. And it says this marked one of 2 career appearances at shortstop for Mays, who played 2,832 games in center, 83 games at first base, 12 in right field, 2 in left, and 1 at third base.
That's
fun
all.
fact number 2 today.
Followed by what fire are you going to show, Sammy? I know you got 5.
Oh, you know what? I will go to the other root beer card. So there are two beer cards, and this is going to be the second one. Everybody knows that I've talked about this one religiously, so I'll try not to be a broken record here. But this one, the test issue, similar back, if I'm not mistaken, except it doesn't have a number attached to it. This one also had a tab as well, and the test issue was, to me, I like this one more than the actual issue. It might be the orange or the brown orange that they use kind of gives that San Francisco colors to pop really nicely. As far as how this card came to be, 7 hours. The famous thing is 7 hours at Philly show, walking around, not buying a single thing, going to dealer, asking if they have anything off my list. And I'm talking about going to the big time dealers, and they didn't have this on their list. I have this on their inventory. It came down to a small table, a guy who had a fanny pack, and he opened up the fanny pack, and out popped this card in a card saver that he was going to submit himself. And he laid it out in front of me. I probably overpaid, but I don't care. And I walked away with one of the biggest cards in my collection. So
You didn't overpay. You didn't overpay now. I
But
can guarantee
essentially,
you.
but essentially, even without the passing, did you overpay? I mean, the likelihood of you finding it again would have been how many months would have been?
Oh,
I mean, you
the
talk to
national.
people like you talk to Mangini, you talk to Orlando. Sometimes the best time to buy it is when you see it.
Yeah.
Negotiate. If you guys don't let $50, don't let $100 prevent you from getting your dream card, your card that especially if
I have no regrets. I have no regrets at all because, and I still talk to the guy. I still talk to the dealer a lot, and we keep in touch. And he was curious on what it was going to grade, so I brought it right over to SGC because it was at the Philly show, and they were doing submissions. So I just took it over, submitted it. I was praying for a 2, got a 1.5. I'll, which is fine. You kind of compromise with, or you don't really compromise, but and mentally compromise with yourself. But it was I totally agree. I mean, I was thinking of Mangini, I was thinking of Orlando in those circumstances because they're absolutely right. In those situations, finding something like that is very challenging. And it kind of goes to show, I mean, no disrespect to any of the big time dealers that go to all the big shows, including the National. And they'll say the same thing that, I mean, when you find a rare card like that, I mean, they would kind of act the same, I would say, try to, acquire that to have in their inventory or to have in their collection.
Bruh, yeah. I've talked to enough collectors, enough people in the hobby. The only regrets, because I've felt the same way. I come home from a show. I love the art of negotiating. I like the dance. I like the cut up at the knees. I like doing all that. And I come home like, God dang, man, the dealer got me. But you know what? I'm over it by the next time I look at that card because I have the card. The only regrets are the ones like I just told you. Man, I was going for the Campy, and I missed out on the 73 Schmidt for like $150. I'm like, oh, like I still remember.
Yeah.
There was another one, 64 top stand of Clemente, but I didn't get it because I was so focused on the Campy. So it's like the only stories of regret are the ones that you didn't get, not the ones that you end up, buying.
That's exactly how I tell you what, my whole thing with I probably overpaid for it. The reality is if it's not leaving your collection, what's the difference?
It doesn't matter.
So
what's the difference? So and typically I don't sell, I don't trade. I'm a freaking hoarder. So if I have it, like my regret is never what I paid. It's exactly what Lou said. My regret is I should have bought it and didn't. And I missed out, or I haggled over freaking $40, and now I'm regretting it to this day that I didn't get that particular card, and whatever the case may be. So I've never had any regret of, I paid too much. It's what it is, Once it's in the collection, it's what it is.
You're driving home like it's only $20. I let it go for $20.
I did it at Lou, you're gonna laugh because we were just talking about the card. I did it at Strongsville over $50. It was the 48 Bowman Musial in a 1.5, and it looked beautiful from the front. It looked like a 2 to a 3, clean. I mean, it actually probably looked like a 3. A little bit of paper loss on the back, and that's where my hesitation was. I'm like, man, I kind of want I want the full card. I'm a huge Musial fan, Cardinals fan, so I'm like, I don't want that paper loss. And I looked at the price, and the price was, I think it was $450. I look at it now going, I should have just jumped on that. Again, I don't have the funds to be spending $2 or $3 grand on a 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, I should have just jumped on that. And so now it's become one of my cards at the National, thinking, all right, maybe I can replace it with something that's maybe even a little bit better for hopefully the same price or a little bit more. But
you always see like the progression is like, who's going to be the next one? A couple of years ago, it was
I'll be right back. Got a refill.
Yeah.
And, all Aaron stuff jumped up. Obviously Mays.
Yep.
Including recent events, but Mays a couple of years is like, he's the GOAT. He's better in Mantle in every way. His stuff started going up. Clemente stuff started going up. And Stan is that guy. It's like, who's going to be the next one? I think personally is going to be Dobie.
I was just going to say it.
If I could get me a 49 Dobie, right, man.
So here's the deal. We're getting into you're seeing this game at Rickwood. It's Juneteenth. It's a celebration. Of a particular month. But at the end of the day, his contribution to not only baseball but history is almost as relevant as Jackie Robinson, and I think people are starting to see that now.
Well,
And
I think collectors have always known about Dobie and the contributions. You got your Don Newcombs, people of that ilk. It's that it's not the collectors I worry about. It's the investors,
the mainstream
guys who are coming in, like the fringe guys with a lot of money.
Right.
They're the ones that drive up, the price. I mean, Dobie's not cheap anyways.
No.
Because collectors know the relevance of his play, his career. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, that's been a car that I've been getting. I had the opportunity to get a Dobie, but I chose the 48 and over the 49 Dobie. It's just one of those things. When I see it,
Personally, I think I'm a huge Stan guy, so I think you did the right thing. Dobie's still out there. He hasn't gone through the roof yet, so you can still kind of jump on that. So,
Brad 31.
Yeah, with tab, very nice.
Real nice one.
Yeah, most of my maze is. I'll let you show something next, Lou, but most of mine is ungraded.
Well, I mean, I love the league leaders because he has a couple with Clemente, so I figure I'll show some of that since I'm a Clemente guy. But I'm a big cereal guy. When I was a kid, the cereal could have sucked. Like Kellogg's. It was terrible. I put so much sugar on my Kellogg's. It wasn't even the Frosted Flakes. It was just Kellogg's. But it had cards. And one of my favorite, my mom used to get so pissed with me because I'll just dig my dirty hand. I'm a kid. I'm just reaching. She's like, babe, what are you doing? And, after a while, you realize they're actually putting it on the outside of the bag, but I'm digging inside the bag,
Right.
Stuffing it in the salad bowl. And I remember this was the first Kellogg's card I got. Not this one in particular because I ended up buying one sealed. I have one open, but I actually have one sealed. This is 91 Kellogg's.
So really? That's cool.
Yeah, man. It's so sick. And I love that I was able to find it sealed. Of course, I have the complete set unopened, but when I find these in value boxes, a lot of the times you can find them sealed. So I'll always pick it up.
I wasn't familiar with that set. That's kind of slick.
I think there's 91 and 92 Kellogg's have the 3D joints.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I love it because you have the 71s right here.
Oh
so
yeah.
Now I'm cracking this one ain't too bad.
Right.
But yeah, this is a tough card. All these cards are so tough, man, because they are so brittle.
Yeah.
But this is 71, which I love. And then my personal favorite, even though I love the Kellogg's, just because when I was a kid, that was the first cereal cards I was getting, but the 62 Post.
Yeah, that's a beautiful card.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Can't beat it, bro.
And I love the fact that it's ungraded. I think that looks awesome. Like that.
Yeah, I love it too, man.
I do.
I got a couple mantles. Like the Post stuff. I just love the Post, man. And you can find postcards especially at the National. They'll have them in bids. Of course, they highlight the Clementes, the Aarons, the Mantles. They always have them to the side there a little bit. But they're still not crazy expensive. They're still affordable. It's a 62 Mays, and you can get this relatively cheap. I haven't looked it up recently, but I'm still sure it's a lot more affordable than 62 Tops.
Oh, yeah.
It's dope as hell. You know what I'm saying?
No, I dig it. That's cool. Hit us with a fact, Sammy. What do we got? What do we got cooking?
Oh, I wasn't ready, but let's see what we got.
I got more Mays, but I'm ready to go. Right. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I'll give you a fun fact. So, there's no surprise. Mays.
What's his middle name?
Yeah. You want me to tell you?
I know.
Mr. Howard. Mr. Willie Howard Mays. He made a couple of bids of, it says here, obviously he stole a lot of bases. He hit a lot of home runs. No surprise there. Fun fact. So he made a lot of 40. He made a couple bids at a 40-40 season, though that was one of the few feats he ultimately did not accomplish. Didn't get there, but he finished. I'm just reading this verbatim. He finished with 36 home runs and 40 stolen bases in 1956, and then followed it up with 35 home runs and 38 steals in 57. He was the first player in Major League Baseball history with multiple 35-35 seasons, though since then, he's been joined by Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds, and Alfonso Soriano.
Wow. And what was that? 30 and 30?
Let's see. 35-35.
Because didn't Acuna just do that last year?
He might, yeah. So,
yeah, I think he hit that list.
This is kind of surprising because this is coming from MLB's website too.
I missed a fun fact. What was it that he was?
35 homers and 35 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Well, also,
multiple. That's why. That's why Acuna's not there. Multiple.
Oh, multiple seasons.
Yeah.
But I remember an interview years ago, and growing up, Jose Canseco was a big because I never seen anyone that big, that fast, anything. I mean, of course, we now know he had help.
Yeah, but he admitted it.
Regardless of the fact, he was the first 40-40 guy. And I remember Mays, still, he was the guy. He's one of the GOATs. And he was being interviewed. They were like, isn't this an impressive feat? He's like, man, if I knew that was important or it was going to be as important or celebrated as it is today, I would have done that 20 years ago. He's like, I could have gotten 40-40. But it wasn't that important. No one said getting 40 bases and 40 home runs was a big deal.
It's amazing how the stats become an important thing as time goes on.
Jace, what's your next Maze card?
I've got I'll show two. I think this is my 63, and again, the next two I'm going to show are going to be multiplayer.
That's a fun card.
So that's my Pride of the NL 63 Musial Maze. I absolutely love this card because I'm a big Musial guy, and obviously Maze is Maze. I think I did a video a couple weeks ago where I was sending off 4 cards to get graded, and this was one of them. And I ended up not sending it. So this is still currently raw, but at some point it'll get graded.
You taking cards to the National, bro?
What's that?
You taking cards to the National to grade?
SGC ain't going to be there.
No, they are. They are going to be there.
Are they going to be there?
Yes, I think they're going to be there, but they're not doing same-day submissions.
Oh, then that's fine. I'll take them. Yeah, then I'll take a bunch.
I'd rather do that anyways. I save the money, grade more cards.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate the mail. You cut the mail out at least halfway through the trip.
And then this is my 64 Giant Gunners Orlando Cepeda Willie Mays, but this is part of my contest and one of my giveaways that I announced on my channel a couple days ago.
I might have to send you like a $5 bill or something because I entered that contest just for that card because to me I don't have that card.
And this card is third place. This isn't even.
I'm happy with third place because it's one of those cards that again you hope to see it at a show and pick it up because I love Baby Bull. That was my grandfather's favorite. I have pretty much the Cepeda run. Autos, bat relics, anything Cepeda, and I saw that. I'm like,
hold on,
maybe I should just buy it.
I got something for you, Lou.
Lou, I wish I knew. I'd have put it aside and given it to you, and then maybe give the Musial or and the Maze away or something.
I love Cepeda, man. Cepeda is my guy.
Do you have this?
I do not.
This is the San Francisco Call Bulletin 58 that's his rookie year.
Yeah, you were chasing that, weren't you?
No, I found this by accident.
Really?
Yeah. I will say, if I do find the Maze, because that's what I'm really after, we should talk about this one.
Yeah, I'm down for that, bro. That's 58 too?
It's 58, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. When you mentioned Cepeda and went a little nuts on him.
Look, the thing is, I'm a loyal guy, and I'm big on one hand washing the other. That's one of my favorite sayings. It's a motto I take through life. One hand washes the other. Yeah. I'm gonna spend money because I'm gonna have some cash and I'm gonna be drinking. I already spent money before I even got there. Like I bought a card from George. I'm gonna hit my boy James. I'm gonna go check out B-Rock because if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna help my homie out.
Right.
They're selling cards. I want cards. One hand washes the other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, if you're willing to let that go, homie, I'm your guy.
We'll talk.
Rick is bringing a truckload.
Oh, that's right. Rick is bringing.
Yeah, Rick is bringing.
Lou's gonna have. Lou said Lou's gonna have first dibs on that, man. The Misfit House. I mean, that's.
Did you see the AC videos, man, I was buying cards as soon. Bro, we didn't even pick out rooms yet. And my boy Sean Tiefer was selling cards, man. He had his raincoat. It's like, what do you want? I got over here. I got Clementes over here.
Yeah, I'm fearful that I'll be spending a lot of. I actually the first day I'm probably getting there Wednesday afternoon. I don't know if I'm gonna get there early enough to go for Wednesday, but if I do, I'm gonna reserve most of the money because the get together. Rick is gonna be at the get together. I don't know if Don is bringing cards like he did at Strongsville.
Sure.
And there's I bought off of him. I bought off of B-Rob, like you said, Lou. I mean, it's just what you do, right? I mean, you know,
the YouTube get together.
Yeah.
Shoot. I was buying cards from Jake. I mean, I was buying everyone had cards laid out on table. Look, it was like a YouTube trade night. I mean, everyone had cards.
Yeah, and I have a hunch it's gonna be like that again.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun.
Can you Lou, can you do me a favor? Can you consider Jake's application, man? He's gonna be because I'm rooming with him, man. He's gonna be pouting about that the entire time.
I can tell you one thing: that cat's gonna keep on crying in that pillow. Hope he can come for him.
Oh man!
Better rub his feet or something. Console him.
He's riding with Drew from A Vintage Legacy, and he convinced Dom to Staven Sports Cards to go. Obviously, I mean, he can't go without his ride or die. So
that's his homie right there. That's his homie right there. But you know what? It's funny because I'm flying into Charleston. I'm going to ride with my big bro John Mangini. We're going to do the 11-hour drive because he likes to drive. I'm going to be road vlog, road to the National with these two knuckleheads, me and John. So I'm sure we're going to hit a couple. Shoot, I told her we might spend all our money before we hit the show because we're planning on trying to hit a couple card shops. We're just gonna, we're gonna see what's in the area, go through Pittsburgh, his neck of the woods.
Right.
So should be a good time.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, actually, Dave, Legends of the Dugout, and Matt, the card story, are the two who kind of linked me into the house I'm staying at. So, and I don't know, I think it's like up to 12 people. That's you're talking about the strings and the chats on your phone. I'm on a string and that thing's popping off like every 30 seconds while I'm working. And I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, Misfits thread. I mean, I'll wake up because I work 12-hour shifts. And when I go to work, I'm up at 4:30 to be there at 6. And I'll wake up because I'll silent. I have to silent. It goes on silent at 9 o'clock every night. And I'll wake up to 150 text messages. Now, and honestly, out of those 150 text messages, 120 are John's.
Talking about how awesome PSA is.
I'm like, and how great
your card is phenomenal.
Craig is asking about the Yogi. I actually ended up selling it. I'm sorry, man.
Who, the Yogi? What Yogi?
I had a 56 Yogi that that's been in my inventory case, but I sold it at my last show.
Did you? I didn't even know. Really?
Yeah, he kind of just snuck in there somehow.
I didn't even know that. I need that too.
It's funny, man. I'm seeing like who did I just see recently talk about like set building?
I'm sorry, Craig.
Oh yeah. But the 48 Yogi now, the Bourbon is a card I have on my radar. Really want that card, and I think I've never been a set builder or collector. I just saw someone's live. He was talking about set building.
That's the set to build. It's small. It's a
small.
set.
Half of them are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I got the big boy already. I already got the scan usual.
The big ones are Musial and Yogi, right? I think Enos Slaughter's a rookie.
Warren Spahn.
I
got the Kiner. It was Hitman. Hitman was talking about set building and Mangina was laughing at these new cats saying, "Who wants to put cards in binders?" But because that's what the new cats are saying. Like the set building is so foreign to them. They want their taco fractors and stuff like that. They're like, why would you buy cards just to put them in binders? But that's how I grew up.
Because they look awesome in binders. That's why.
I think that'd be a good one just to dip my toe. That's not a rabbit hole I want to get into by any means. But with half the set being Hall of Famers, stars, it will keep my interest. Like I said, I already got the stand. The Yogi will be the next one. I love the Warren Spawn just because of the uniqueness of that photo. The whole Alfred Hitchcock,
Right.
high profile joint. Love that. So,
have you ever seen? If you get a chance, Lou, check out White Sox fan and card collector. He completed the whole 48 Bowman set, and it's yeah, he's a local guy for me, being in Chicago, and he's got a great channel and completed that set. I think he also, he's big Diamond Stars guy and Giants. I think he completed the 64 Giants set as
I
well.
don't mind the Al Lopez Diamond Stars.
Yeah, it's awesome. The Al Lopez is awesome.
Yeah.
And the 38 Gaudy.
Too. The Jimmy Fox would be dope.
Jimmy Fox, yeah. L. Simmons. L. Simmons is a nice Diamond Stars.
See, there's so many possibilities at the National.
Right.
I'm probably just gonna be first table I hit. I'll get my big boy. I'll say it here. I won't say it too much. 39 play ball DiMaggio. That's what I want.
I love it.
That's what I'm asking Santa Claus. But
so
I've got a buddy who's got it in a 1.5. He bought it raw on eBay.
Oh,
and
really? On the eBay, he bought it. See, I don't have.
And he had it graded, and it graded a 1.5, and he was disappointed with the grade. And I said, you know what? You are doing just what he paid for it. I don't want to disclose that. When I see you at the National, I'll tell you what he paid for it, and you'd be stunned. He killed it.
The thing is, you can't be disappointed. Now, did he feel good because it was going to go through some type of authenticity?
It did, and it did. It did go through authenticity. He got it in the box.
I have some boss to do that, bro, because he's saying he was disappointed with the numerical, but at least he got a numerical. I'd be worried,
That's exactly right.
Authentic is nice if it's, visually eye appealing, but you might even live with that if you paid a low price. But that's what I'd be worried about. Like, you get the card, then you send it, and it's like, altered, fake, or at least you got 1.5, bro.
Right. Oh, he killed it. He absolutely killed it for what he paid for it. I was explaining to him, you just like tripled your money. So I think you're good. You're in good shape.
Pastor Craig hooking up 68s and 69. Speaking of 68s, you guys ain't showing nothing.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
So you need to decorate that man cave with some 68 Tops posters, bro. Go to Hobby Lobby, get these frames, but 68 Tops is just beautiful, man.
That is beautiful, dude.
And I don't know if you noticed, I got the Clemente.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
You think this is my first day? Clemente, Hammering Hank, and I got the Mays. And the inspiration for that is this card right here. One of my favorite cards.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome card. Absolutely legendary.
That sucker is clean. So, I'm a big, like I said, I don't throw anything up without meaning. And I love displaying, having this card out. Every once in a while, I'll put it back in the front in my album, because I do have this in the album with the 4 pocket sleeves and the card saver. I'll put it out when I'm, feeling good, just so I can see the posters with that card. But this is just sick, dude. I mean, if you could throw a couple of these 68s, I got the 70s. The 70s are more the square over my TV.
Yeah, sure.
You'll love, your room is just gonna pop, dude.
Oh,
and you know what?
Like,
it's not just a normal poster like Alan Mac. They were inserts. There is baseball card nostalgia history. You know what I'm saying? So it fits. I love it.
That's part of the reason I kind of got into, and if I'll segue again. Sammy can show what he just got. I watched Rick, and anyone who's watched my channel knows this, Vintage Oddball Cards, and he showed me that 64 Aurora Vision Willie Mays, and I fell in love with it. Yeah. And I simply started digging in, and now I'm up to 6 with my 7th one coming in this week. And Mays is still on the list, but I know you got it, Sammy. That thing is just awesome. I love the image. It's art.
Oh, I got it right here. Yeah.
I love that thing. Absolutely love it. And actually, if you go online, if you go onto YouTube, I think it's Closet Card Addicts or Card Addicts. You can listen to all of the records, and I was listening to all of them, and it's just phenomenal.
I've been trying to tell people, the thing is, they're not hard. The 64 Aurora Vision, when I was a kid, just to just to show you how hardcore. Do you remember? Because we're all the same age here. At least I like to think so. I'm 40.
I think I'm older. I think I'm older than all of you.
How old are you, Jay? How old are you?
I'm 50.
See, I'm 43. So Sam is,
I'm the baby. I'm the baby.
So when I was a kid, you know, I was to stay up late at night watching the Home Shopping Network. And for the low price of 3Z Famous of 33. And I finally got my mom. I was cutting lawns. I had like half the money. I think I had like 50, 60 bucks saved up. My mom was like, fine, I'll order it. It was like $100. And it was complete. I was never so disappointed in my life. I still got the box. I bought it. But the one cool thing that was in there was a 64 Aurora Vision of Sandy Koufax.
Oh.
So that was my introduction to the set.
There you
I
go.
did my research and looked it up. And I got the mantle now. I got the Ernie Banks, the Frank, and the Mays has always escaped me because it's one. Yeah.
There it is.
There's the Koufax.
Yeah, it's a little bit. They're not too difficult to find. You can find them Punch because they made a lot of them because they were like giveaways and stuff like that. But they're just beautiful cards, man. They display beautifully.
That's it. Well, when you were talking about the 68 posters, it just reminds me of these. I just, these images are phenomenal. And this was the first. This was the first one that I bought, and this one's getting graded. This and the Koufax are in really good shape. Yeah. So I'm probably grading this, the Koufax, and then the Mays that I will end up getting. I'm going to purchase one in really good shape, and I will overpay for it. I don't care.
Now, Jay,
find one in good shape.
Do your thing. I'm never one to be like, don't grade it. But just know that's going to be a big-ass slab. It's going to be difficult to display unless you have like a shelving or something like that. Like, I just have it in an 8x8 frame. It's all pressure, a nice piece of glass. And I just have them hung up, and I see them every day away from the sunlight. And you're right. When it's unpunched, the edges are nice and clean with that green. It's just a beautiful card. I mean, like I said, I got the Frank, the Ernie, the mantle, and I've given a whole bunch away for. I'm at the point in my collection. Like in the beginning, it has so much extra stuff that wasn't dialed into my PC. But I'm at the point in my collection where I've been on YouTube so long, I don't have anything else to give away.
I was giving away on this giveaway. Everyone was telling me you're very generous. I'm like, I didn't think I was that generous. It was just stuff that I felt could be given away and people have a good time with. I'm like, this is, I'm a hoarder. I have so much stuff. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You just reminded me of something I have. I got stuff in closets. I got stuff in my garage.
Right.
Just, obviously organized and put away. But I'm a big, beyond, you inspired me today, beyond the cardboard. I love toys. I don't care. I'm 43 years old. I love my toys. And I don't know if you guys know about the McFarlanes, but I love McFarlanes.
I know the McFarlanes.
And I think they got their license back because I'm starting to get emails again for like MLB, and I just had to get this again.
That's awesome.
Willie Mays, Barry Bonds. They're not difficult to get, but man, I've been having this for almost 20 years. I got this in college, man.
That's awesome.
And I'm also one to keep in the package. I'm not. Oh, you better take it out. I can't. Like all my stuff is in boxes.
I'm the same way.
How'd they fit the Willie Mays in that packaging? I mean, the Barry Bonds in that packaging. I figured, one side would have to be much bigger than the other.
It was pre-juice.
One side is really heavy, and the other side.
Bonds looks like a bobblehead.
Look at this. I'm like I'll be the perfect Ed McMahon here, Sammy. And that segues in perfectly to the transagrams because the transagrams are toys.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Let me see if I have. So the next card I'll show that has, I think, a fun story. Let me see. Well, you know what? You were talking about earlier, the big card that I purchased. This was going to be the national purchase, but I found it beforehand, depleted my funds, but I've built up my funding again. So, but yeah, man.
That's it right there, man. That's for real.
The 54 Stahlmeyer Franks Willie Mays. So for those that don't know, even though I'm a broken record, I show the same cards over and over again. You have to just deal with it. For those that don't know, the story behind this one, I was at work I was in the middle of doing a job, and I got a text or like a you know how you can tag someone in Facebook on a post?
Right.
I get B-Roth tags me in a Facebook post of a guy who's selling a bunch of Stahlmeyer stuff, and it was like Mays and Mantle, and there was one Mays, and so it tagged me in it. I immediately made an offer, went back and forth a little bit, and then I just said, "All right, I'm going to PM you." So I PM'd him. His name is Andy. Really nice guy. I asked him. I was like, "All right, where do you need to be?" Because I feel like we're getting closer and closer. And he goes, "Well, this is what I paid for it, and this is where I want to be." And I said, "All right, let me make you this offer." And he was like, "Let's do it." And so it's my biggest purchase to date as far as money goes. But it's one of those things. Again, it's like, what are the chances of being able to find this? And if I do find it at the National, I know I'm going to pay a lot more than what I did with the guy that Andy, the guy that I bought this from. Andy gave me a nice deal on it. He made his money back and a little bit more. So
yeah, that's perfect then. That's
and it was ideal.
Out of all your mazes, that's not my favorite, and I'm sure you'll show it later. When you show it, I'll let you know which one's my favorite of the mazes that you own. So,
I could guess. 73 Mays. He went back to New York. The reunion tour.
Man, that's his last issued card. Before that, the 74. I mean, the 74 is there, but the 73. This is like his last official issued.
He went
card.
back to New York.
You know, based on that card alone, Mookie Chilson believes that he should be in the Hall of Fame as a Met. So.
But Orlando's right. Get it when you can. When you find those sort of cards that are not easily found, take the opportunity. Get them when you can.
Orlando's walking the floor with me. We're going to be in search of some Cracker Jacks. He already mentioned he's looking for a Cracker Jack. I said, so am I. So we'll walk the floor. I'm looking for some Cracker Jack cards.
I wouldn't mind getting a mini Minoso, like Caramel Deportivo.
Oh.
I know he has a guy. So
yeah,
that's the guy you want to walk with when you want to find that.
No kidding. Well, him and John is the same guy, right? They've got a guy for all of those.
That's another one. Mini Minoso is a big. I love Cepeda, Minoso, Clemente. Those are. I love those guys.
I have through the consignment. I have I don't think I sold the 56 Minoso yet. I have a 56 Minoso. Actually, if you guys don't mind, I want to show real fast the cards from that consignment that I've been talking with the guy who I'm helping with.
Can we say shotgun if we like one?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, these are cards that are going to be sent for grading because that's what we want to do. But I'll show it to you. First one is a really nice looking 75 Nolan Ryan.
I love the 75.
Yes.
They grow on.
Really nice looking Robin Yount rookie card.
Such a synonymous.
That Dylan centered? That looked Dylan
centered. Dylan centered, yeah.
Oh, diamond cut to that one.
George Brett. Out of all the Bretts that were in this consignment, this was the best one.
That purple on the bottom is nice.
Christian Mazzaro picked that up. That'll be a 700th.
Here's a nice looking 80 Henderson.
Oh, he just reminded me of a topic I wouldn't mind talking about.
Yeah, I know. I think I know where you're going to go with that one. We'll come back to him in a second. A 73 Hank Aaron.
I enjoy that card. I really do like that card.
I like it too.
This one I picked up in particular because this one has good centering on the back as well.
Oh, John Mangini might be interested. He's into centered backs now.
Mike Petty.
56 Ed Matthews.
Oh, you're grading that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not plain.
They just like that just went out my price range.
I know, and I need it. I'm like, okay.
I had a chance.
This one is up in the air, but really nice looking 83 Topps traded strawberry.
Why is that up in the air?
You really have to get a 9 or a 10 to make this worthwhile.
Okay, if you don't want to grade it, I might be a player on
Yeah, and even if it eights, then it'd be a player on it at an
I'd
eight.
rather have it raw or ungraded. I'm trying
Right,
to say
right.
ungraded.
Ungraded.
50 Bowman, Richie Ashburn.
50s are nice,
Here's
man.
one.
There you go. Weren't you saying you missed out on that?
You grading that one, bro?
What's that?
Grading?
Yeah, this one I'm grading. And this one, listen, there's certain cards that I cannot sell raw. Otherwise, I will get yelled at.
But when that one
Not my
comes back,
cards.
you see it closer to me. What do you think is going to hit? 6?
5 or 6 perhaps.
Okay, yeah.
I think 6. There are some soft corners on this.
All right. If it's in that 5 to 6 range, you can hit me up.
Yeah. I'm getting to the 3 best ones now, in my opinion.
Duke Schneider.
Yeah, second-year Snyder.
Yeah.
These all have tape stains, but they're good cards, man.
That doesn't bother me.
No.
Yeah,
that's a great card.
That's another card on my radar. I love that card.
That's a great card.
And here's the best one, the top of the.
Oh,
yeah.
The Splendid Splinter.
Yeah.
The greatest Mexican to ever play.
I saw that on the live. What is it grade with the tape stains?
Probably 1 or 2, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, maybe off
the thing about that, think about all of those 50 Bowmans is that the centering is just
phenomenal.
Crazy good.
Right.
So, but it's damn unfortunate that those tape stains exist because they're going to drop the grade down to a 2. It'd be great to get a 3, but
I was going to say, if it wasn't for the centering, it'd be a 1 automatic. But the centering is on. The tape stains don't interfere with the actual image of the player. You could probably possibly get 1.5, 2. That Ted Williams, man, might be 2.5 because the corners look good.
They do.
But corners look good. The border, that's almost Dylan approved centering on a 50 Bowman. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's an automatic grade.
Get rid of tape.
Your little sandpaper, you'd be good to go.
But yeah, those, as far as selling them raw, chances are the guy that had the collection that these cards belong to, the collector, I think he'll want to take his entire consignment back if I try to sell one of those cards raw. I think he's really adamant about getting those graded, and I don't blame him.
No, that is correct. Especially the Williams and the Schmidt rookie. That's just a no-brainer. Those are no-brainers. So.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So.
All right. Well, I'll go beyond the cardboard since Lou checked out one of mine.
What do we got here?
This is a 1965 June issue of Sports Magazine. We've got a local antique shop that sells a bunch of these, and they're probably a little overpriced for the condition they're in. This one's pretty rough. I did take it out and kind of look through it, but the spine is pretty tough. I don't want to take it out too much because it'll start to kind of come apart. But I'll be honest, it was $10. So how do you go wrong with that? So. Beautiful. And this is something, Lou, that I consider possibly framing and putting up in the man cave. I just think that's awesome.
Yeah. I got a life mantle. I think it's 56. Like, where else you go get 56? Man, I bought the magazine for like $40.
Right.
Like,
that's awesome.
And my wife is like, she's laughing. She's like, you just love anything baseball, Yankees. I'm like, baby, where else am I going to get a mid 50s mantle for $40?
Right.
Like, that's where my mentality is. It's like, This is like, so yeah, I love framing all those great old magazines. I was actually at the antique shop today, and I found a Beckett #1 with Jordan on it.
I've got it. The first basketball Beckett. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. All I can think about is, because in AC, I didn't want to be the fanboy. I saw Dr. Beckett, dapped him up, took a quick selfie. I regret not getting, a Beckett autographed by him. So hopefully I run into him. Hopefully he's at the YouTube hangout and I can bother him. I'll buy him a drink,
Sure.
That's what he wants. That way I'm not just asking for his auto. But yeah, that'd be dope in a silver Sharpie or
Oh
something.
yeah,
That'd be sick. And
he
then
was he was at the National last year. I've said it a couple times on Sammy's channel. I was still a lurker at the time,
Yeah.
but I met him, and he was
gracious guy.
He was talking to Mike Moynihan and Mike Junkwax Hero, and was getting his Beckett signed from him while I was there, which was very cool.
Super dope guy. And the thing is, I mean, as prominent as he is in the hobby, legendary collector, homeboy will be in the value boxes on the last day. I'm like, this cat.
Down to earth as hell.
Yeah.
Just down to earth as hell.
Yeah, man. Real dope. I could get down with him. I'm like, yo, he ain't just here for the mantles and the errands. He's in the value box.
Right.
On the last day. I'm like, that's the collector I could get down with.
All right, Sammy, you got to show my favorite. You don't even know what it is, but I'm waiting for you to show it.
Well, I'm actually going to show an autograph first that.
Oh, yeah.
One of my biggest, we all have regrets of selling. I have a regret. I sold a Willie Mays like 10 years ago.
Forgive the condition on this. I'll explain why.
You got to frame that, Sammy. Frame that.
I will. So this was found in my mom's basement.
I was going to say.
Sadly, it did suffer some
water
damage on it, but the autograph's intact, and the part of the damage is mostly away from him. So,
and his story.
It's a good, that's really what it is. My
dad, the water did hit that Sharpie. I mean, that's crucial.
My dad, I think, got this at a show in the 90s, and just forgot about it. So. I was going through my mom's basement one day, and all of a sudden I see that, and I see a Buck O'Neil autograph. I'm like, what the?
That is cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's that. I don't know which one is your favorite, but I'm just going to go with this one always makes Adam Vintage Sanctuary happy because I love his story, and I'm going to show this one here.
Well, that's just awesome. But yeah, that's just awesome as heck. Not my favorite, but that is absolutely amazing.
So the story with this one, I got this one last year at the National, and I thought I got a nice deal on it. And to me, it's just one of those cards where there's so many of them, but they're just a classic. It's a classic set, and it's a classic card, and I actually prefer, to me, I know there's the rookie card, but I almost prefer this one over the rookie. That's
blasphemous. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's 52 tops. Like
it might just be my, my financial mind talking like, oh, I prefer this one, trying to trick me into thinking, the 51 is not as good as the 50.
Yeah,
I love those early Bowmans though, man.
Yeah, they're great. Listen, it's a great card. What was the favorite card you're referring to, Jason?
It was the 59 Bazooka.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
I love that card. I absolutely love. And I was standing next to you when you bought it, and that's not why it's my favorite. I just think that is an awesome looking card. I think it's
it looks like the 72. I'm looking for the 72 posters. They're real tough, man. Super delicate and fragile. 72s are like that's the 72 Clemente. Those I don't know what it was, but the 72 posters are tough. But the Hank Aaron's kind of the Hank and the Mays are like
close ups.
Yeah, real close like that.
I just think it's an awesome looking card. I really do.
Well, the nice thing is that I don't know if William Chappie sold it or Chappell sold it already, but he had I think he had 3 of them total at Strongsville. He had that one, which is a 4. He had another one that was raw, and I think he had a third one that was like a grade of like a 1 or a 2. And every time I've bought from him, it's always been like he's always given nice deals. Because I bought I bought 2 Mays stuff off of him. Oh, I bought the New York Journal American off of him.
I didn't know you bought that. You bought that off of him? I didn't know.
Yeah, I bought this at the Philly show off of him. And then when I bought the Bazooka, the story goes with this was not on the radar at Strongsville. Again, it was trying to find the Stahlmeyer, and I literally raced around the entire space in a matter of 30 minutes, going from table to table, just looking for the Stottmeyer Mays. Because I figured if it's going to be there, it's going to be in the forefront. It's not going to be hidden away in somebody's bag or something. That is if they're looking to move it. So when I didn't see it, I pivoted and I saw this, and I'm like, I've always had my eye on this. I figured let's jump into it and get it. And so William Chappell, I bought both of these off of him at 2 different times, and always giving me nice deals on them.
Yeah, he gets it, man. He's I didn't even know he went to the Philly show. He's everywhere because he's from, we've talked. He's from Indiana. He's closer to me than he is to you.
He's Garrett. So Garrett is Garrett. He mentors Garrett.
Right.
Like, there were times in Strasbourg where Garrett Ballpark Memories was behind the table with him.
I told you when I bought my Ed Walsh T206.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with William several times in Chicago shows, but when I was buying the T206, Garrett was right over his shoulder. So he had a price, and he threw a deal out at me and he said, "What about this?" And I looked at Garrett and he just kind of nodded his head yes and yeah.
It's kind of good to have Garrett in that situation at that moment.
Right. He just kind of nodded his and he's a young. It's just amazing to me because he's a young kid, but he knows his stuff, right? So I respect his opinion. I'm like, all right, that's good. Let's do it.
I just can't wait. Is Warren gonna be in at the National? Warren's gonna be at the National.
Oh yeah, that's local for him. Yeah.
Wait till you think when you see George. When I hang out with George could drink me under the table, man, and be the first one. He's the last one to sleep and the first one to wake up. Like, golly, how in the world? George Diamond Yard, man. You're talking about beast.
I shut down the room we had with Chris from Missouri and a bunch of his buddies. So that was at Strongsville.
We're gonna have a couple rounds. I'm good. I have a baseball card budget, but I also have a bourbon budget.
Yeah.
I'm good, man.
I know Warren. Yeah, Warren. I know Warren's going to be there with the beers.
Oh yeah, for certain.
Yeah, I like my beers like during like AC during the convention on the floor. When I peruse and walk around, I like having a nice tall boy. Yuengling is my go-to. I like Yuengling.
That's what I'm drinking tonight.
But we'll see what they have available.
I typically drink trash beer, so I'm a PBR guy and an old style guy. I love trash beer.
I got Milwaukee's best.
I actually like Yuenglings a lot. I do like Yuengling.
Yeah, Yuengling, they have a plant down here in Tampa, so it's actually pretty good.
Okay.
But, sometimes some of those days, like I said, I was so focused on that Campy. The Yuengling was the only purchase I made for the day. Like as soon as I hit the globe beer cart and be ready to go, get my tall boy, walk around, and that was the only purchase I made for the day. I'm like, golly.
I will buy Pastor Craig his Hires or his dad's root beer when he's there. So.
It's still a good day. You're drinking beer, looking at cards. Sometimes some of these displays, like you go to some of these auction houses, and it's just like a little museum.
Yeah,
just admiring these cards. That's when they were selling that 9.5 mantle when I went 2 years ago to the AC.
Yeah.
And that mantle by SJC. People are talking about PSA's the 800-pound gorilla, which they are. I get it.
Right.
But if you look at some of the top cards,
SGC
is an SGC.
SGC. That root that sold in a 3 was an SGC holder as well 7-8 months ago.
So Sammy, you want to get into we all know with the unfortunate passing of the legend Willie Mays, say hey.
Mm-hmm.
Luis Aparicio is the oldest Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
I was trying to figure that out.
He's 90, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 90. But who now takes the mantle of the greatest living ball player?
So you mentioned Ricky Henderson earlier, and I think that's the consensus with some people. Is that where you're going with?
Yeah, when you, I didn't, when the discussion popped up, I was at work, so I couldn't really get into it. And I'm not necessarily, button pusher or poke the bear, but sometimes it's fun poking the bear. But to me, Ricky Henderson was just built to play baseball. I mean, there was no one like him before, and there has been no one built like him after. No one has come close. 1,400 stolen bases, #1 in runs in the history of MLB. 130 stolen bases in a season. Has an AL MVP. I mean, second place to him when it comes to stolen bases isn't even close. I think it's within 500 stolen bases.
Lou
And
Brock,
then,
right? I think it's Lou
you're
Brock.
looking at my generation of base stealers. You're looking at Juan Pierre. Kenny Lofton is always the one on the top of the dome. They got 600 stolen bases in their career. And you got Ricky at 1,400. No one has come close. I know the game has changed, but no one's going to touch that record at all.
So I'm going to bring this side-by-side comparison. I brought up two players that have been mentioned as the greatest living players.
I got mine.
I have a feeling of the other one. I'm gonna.
I don't know. You might not.
Mad at me.
I got mine.
Now I'm not including Bonds in this case. But
no, I get that. It's hard to choose two Bonds. But.
Here's who I have. Now Henderson has the better WAR, but you look at it's obviously stolen bases is completely one-sided here, but you gotta consider Yastrzemski as well in this instance. They both have MVPs, but I mean, Gold Gloves, batting titles, All-Stars, it's crazy. But
triple crown is always. I mean, I love the Triple Crown. It's just one of those awards that, I mean, there's an MVP every year, right? There's an MVP every year. Right. Since '67, there's been a Cy Young to each league, right? But when you have a Triple Crown on your resume, it's tough. But to me, it's just Ricky Henderson is just built different.
No, I get it.
I mean,
it cracks me up. Neither of these guys hit my list. When that's why you're wrong, Jason. Someone who's watching this channel knows who it is because he did a video on it and I watched it right before we jumped on.
Who's on your list? I want to bring him up.
My greatest living player, and someone's going to agree with me. He's in the chat. It's Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh. All right, I'm going to pull side by side.
It's Ken Griffey Jr. to me.
All right,
when we're talking 5-tool, don't get me wrong, Lou. Ricky Henderson was phenomenal, but he wasn't true 5-tool. He wasn't hitting, he wasn't hitting for power. He was hitting for average and hitting phenomenal.
I mean,
he was stealing bases.
When Trout retires, is he better than Griffey?
No. Well, it depends. Depends how long. It depends.
He's got more MVPs.
It depends what he does after all of his injuries. If he can play three or four more years healthy. And put up the numbers he was putting up, it's questionable.
I mean, he's going to end up DHing eventually.
Right.
But, I mean, between the Gold Gloves, the 3 MVPs, I mean, Griffey never won a championship.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So, Sammy's got the numbers. Here we go. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, when Trout retires, you can argue that he's better than Griffey. So, how can he be in the conversation? Ricky Henry, I'm a big ultimate lineup guy. I've done a couple of VRs on it. I've done a little deep study. I've done some debates on it. When you build or discuss any lineup, I'm not even talking about 3, 4. I got Mantle at number 2. I got Babe Ruth at 3. Garrett at 4. Jimmy Fox at 5. You can argue that, but what you don't argue? Who's in the leadoff?
Right, but so that makes him the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. Does that make him the greatest living player?
There's no discussion. No one's built like him. I mean, he was such a great design of power and ultimate speed. If he wanted to crush 450 home runs, I believe he could have done it.
Ricky,
but he wasn't asked to do that. Like if you
Ricky didn't hit for power. Ricky never hit for power, Lou. Ricky don't hit for power. Ricky hit for average, and Ricky got on base. But Ricky
wanted to hit 400 home runs, he would have been able to do it.
If you put him in the different spot in the lineup,
of course.
You think so? I don't know. I don't know,
bro. Man. The jersey was always fighting to stay on.
You're right there. You're absolutely right there.
The Man of Steel wasn't just about stealing bases. He was legit Man of Steel. I mean, he had like a cartoon character.
All right,
I will say, when you put up those stats, Sammy, I was surprised at how little how few stolen bases Griffey Jr. had. I thought he had more than that, actually.
And again, he was always a three-hole hitter, I believe, maybe 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
If he was more of a 1-2 guy, I'm sure they would have had him steal more.
Right.
And same thing with Ricky. If you put him down in the lineup, I'm sure he would have gotten more home runs, more ribbies. But I mean, that's why he's the ultimate. He's number 1 in runs, number 1 in stolen bases. The thing is, other people who have been deemed speed demons, stolen base guys, they don't even touch Ricky. Like, you can't even compare anyone. I mean, you got other guys who've won Triple Crowns. You got other guys who've got multiple Gold Gloves. You got other outfielders. Like, there's always a debate with.
Right.
Yeah, there's no debate with Ricky Henderson.
My man was Vince Coleman back in the day. He did it for like 2 years. He did it for like
Rock Reigns. I think Rock Reigns has
Reigns.
He had 800 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Ricky's got 1,400.
Who is second? It's Lou Brock, right? Lou Brock is second, I believe, right? I think
he's got like 9. Billy Williams is up there. But.
Yeah, so I guess with this conversation that we're having, guys, and the one thing I just excluded in my head, but I didn't say it out loud, is you couldn't be on the juice. Otherwise, it's a non-negotiable debate. Yeah,
like Bonds to me, Bonds was just phenomenal. The fact that like to walk him with the bases loaded,
right, is better off than letting him hit.
Growing up, I was like, this is just stupid, but it makes sense. I would have done the same thing. Like, I wouldn't even want to throw to him. He has such a grasp of the strike zone and the confidence, and that's why I always hated the armor. I mean, I get it.
Right.
You don't want your super to get hurt, but he was like, pitch inside. I dare you, because he was just armor. He was a Robocop. You know, back in the day, you know, Bob Gibson would throw in your ear. Clemens was kind of like that. Pedro Martinez was like that. But these guys, they got more confident with all this gear and armor.
Halladay was like that too. Roy Halladay, a guy I respected a lot. I will say, because I didn't say it, Stukes did a video, and he was naming the greatest, and he thought it was Ken Griffey, and I replied with him. I said, I agree with that right now. Off of what he did a video. I don't know if I gave him the credit for that because I knew he was in the chat. So. Scott,
I thought you were gonna start throwing out Nolan Ryan. I was ready to.
No, I can't. So
people were arguing Nolan Ryan is the greatest living. I'm like, bro.
No. My argument with that is you can't put a pitcher in there. You just can't. It can't be a pitcher to me. Personally, that's just how I feel. It's got to be someone who's playing.
I was like, he's the greatest compiler.
Right.
I mean,
so is Harold Baines.
I mean, you were never the best of any era. You played a lot of eras, bro.
Yeah.
You know, he came close in 73. Shoot, I'll even argue Kurt Schilling was second in the Cy Young 3 times.
Right.
Nolan was only second once.
All right, so let's do this.
And Sammy's like, stop talking about my guy.
Well, Stever's his guy anyways.
No, this will be interesting because we talked about, so we're really focusing a lot on the greatest living player of all time. You have to, I guess it's skewed over to hitters mostly. But now let's pivot over to the greatest living pitcher of all time right now. I'm going to pull up some names, and we'll go from there.
You're just showing names, not stats?
No. I'm going to bring them up.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to start with one, which is an obvious one.
Anyone? They have to be retired though.
I mean, whatever you want.
Kershaw.
I mean, this argument with Scherzer and Kershaw.
All right, I'll pull up Kershaw. I have 4 names, 4 pitchers I'm going to bring up.
Verlander.
All right, here we go. I'll start with these names, and we'll toggle it around a little bit.
Maddox,
at the bottom.
Greg Maddux has the highest WAR. Nolan Ryan, obviously, most games. Strikeouts, obviously. But Kershaw, surprisingly, has a lot of great career statistics.
Mm-hmm.
But the least amount of walks. Most, Gold Gloves obviously go to Maddux.
I was going to say, don't forget the Gold Gloves. What's got 12?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. 18.
Oh, 18? Oh, my. I shortchanged them 6, and I went 12.
Yeah, he was up there. I guess he's up there. I think, does he have the most, or is that still?
I think he's got the most as a pitcher.
I mean, Maddox is so not talked about, but is he inner circle when it comes to pitching? I mean, when you add the Gold Gloves, he has the championship.
The problem with him is that at the beginning of his career,
he didn't throw 108.
No, but not that. At the beginning of his career and at the end of his career, he was not the pitcher that he was. Like, it took him when he had like 1 or 2 good seasons with the Cubs, and then when he went to the Braves, he became elite.
Right.
You can say you can say that about Pedro. You can say that's most pitchers, bro. I mean, they got to figure out their mechanics, and no one's ever the same at the end.
Well, Kershaw, I think Kershaw is the exception. I think Kershaw came in really guns blazing.
But then you argue playoff performance.
Well, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. You throw that out there. Well, he's out the window.
I mean, I'd rather have Mad Bum. Mad Bum in the playoffs was phenomenal.
Right.
You can even argue. You can have a little argument about him.
I'm surprised at Kershaw's numbers. Actually, they're better than I thought.
Oh man, regular season, he's like.
Where does Verlander sit in this? Can you add Verlander, Sam?
Yeah, I can add another player.
You can take off Koufax only because we know shortened career. That's where WAR and all that. I mean, we know how great he was, but it was a span of 5 to 6 years, right?
Well, that's my thing. I love talking Hall of Fame. That's why I love talking to Jake and Don. But you see Kershaw with 210.
Yeah, look at that. Verlander has nothing except 2 champions. He leads in championships, MVPs, league championship MVPs, and Triple Crown, and he's tied with Triple Crown.
Wow.
But everything else.
You see my man with 260? So, I mean, the day of the 300 club winner is pretty much done.
Gone.
So does that help other pitchers with that peak? I know Sandy's peak was a little bit longer than some, but I mean, you got people like Tim Lincecum, the freak.
Lincecum, right.
You have guys like Johan Santana, guys with multiple Cy Youngs.
Chris Sale.
So freaking good. You can even argue Pedro had a peak. I mean, for 3 years, he was untouchable. Like now with the way that pitching, I mean, look at these pitchers, how they baby them. I mean, 5 innings and they're pulling them, 80 pitches, they're pulling them. It's unbelievable. I mean, the way they're utilizing pitchers now is going to help some of these guys. I still don't think King Felix has enough to get in, but like the Johan Santanas, the Tim Lincecums, who championships and Cy Youngs, these peak performers, I think it's going to help them get even a look, a second look maybe.
Well, that'd be your Garrett Coles too. I know he was injured, but then he got a. And then where does that put?
Cole's still pitching,
right? But where does that put like DeGrom? DeGrom when DeGrom is healthy, he's phenomenal when he's healthy.
These guys' WARs are like Lincecum is a 19.5.
Right. King Felix was a stud.
He has 1 save though apparently.
Where's Chris Sale? Wow. Now that we're just rattling off names, I'm curious where Chris.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about these multiple Cy Youngs though. I mean, that's how bad some of these Giants that he played for. Poor Felix, man. He was just in no man's land.
Yeah, and he was a great.
Lincecum's got 2, I believe. I forgot how many. Johan's got to have just 2. Got 2 Cy Youngs. 2 Cy Youngs for
yeah, so Sale's similar to Johan Santana. Then I mean, that's right. I mean, similar numbers.
I mean, you put if Santana, Lincecum, if they were Dodgers or Yankees, they will have maybe another 50 wins.
Right. No, legit.
All right, so I'll fulfill. Theo wants to see Clemens, Pedro, Maddox, and Johnson. So I'm going to pull those names up. That's a
Johnson
good bunch.
As in Randy, the greatest left-hander of all time. Yeah, I said it.
Over Koufax?
Yeah, bro. Second in strikeouts to Clemens. What, 4 Cy Youngs? Randy is sneaky, unbelievable.
God, look at his WAR, 101, 106. My gosh.
Yeah, so you see what I'm talking about, bro?
Golly.
I mean, 300 club winner. Strikeouts, almost 5,000. Like I said, I think he's second to Nolan. I mean, the guy is unbelievable.
Strikeout percentage, 28.6%. Pedro's right behind him, though. actually.
It's that ERA, man. He was untouchable, man.
Yeah.
Go down to Cy Young. I want to see the Cy Young.
How many Cy Youngs? So you got 9,
And
12, 19 Cy Youngs between the 4 of them.
All right, isn't that crazy?
19 and yeah.
Look
So
at
I have an
18 gold gloves, all by Maddox. Every
Yeah.
single one of them.
Between the 4 of them, they got 18 gold gloves. But
Right.
that's why I'm saying Randy, to me, is the best left-hander of all time.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean,
it's hard
just
to argue. It's hard to
I
argue.
mean, I know the peak. You could argue peaks in their careers, but Randy was a stud.
Right, for a while.
You know, a fun fact about Randy Johnson is that
He killed
at the beginning, and then he made it his logo for his photography. At the beginning of his career, he was obviously very wild, and it was kind of like a deja vu moment for Nolan Ryan, because Nolan Ryan started off very wild, and it was Nolan Ryan's pitching coach with the Angels that steered him in the right track and got his mechanics under control. So when he saw that Randy Johnson was kind of having similar issues with his mechanics, Nolan Ryan observed it, noticed it, and gave him some pointers and tips, and it turned everything around. So he kind of passed it down from, like, you know, when he went to the Angels, Ryan went to the Angels, got some great advice, saw it happening with a rookie player. Randy Johnson got some great advice from a legendary player like Nolan Ryan, and the rest is history.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Think about the Expos organization back then. Who was coming up? It was him. It was Pedro, Larry Walker, and all these guys were coming up through the Expos. You know, and they were after the Dawson and the Tim Raines, but
Rondell White.
Yeah, they just had a ton of talent coming through that organization that went off and did awesome things.
I got to look up. I'm going to look up. There's a couple more players. I never really did a side-by-side comparison with. I'm going to do Juan Marichal.
My bad. Yeah, the Dominican dandy. I mean, talk about someone who was a victim to his era. God's phenomenal, but I mean, when you pitch it against
Fergie's the man. Fergie leads
Sandy. God.
Give me some other. I'm going to put Seaver in there because they're rough.
Carlton, Steve Carlton.
That's a good one, Steve Carlton. Let's compare these 4. That should be a fun one.
Carlton will come off the charts, be my guess. Oh,
Yeah.
Seaver's off the charts, but yeah, Carlton's got a lot.
So Seaver is one of 2 players that has career sub-3 ERA, 300 wins, and 3,000 strikeouts.
Dang, Fergie's got 284. I didn't know he had that many wins.
Yeah.
All-time Cubs strikeout leader, I believe.
And Marichal fell short on the strikeouts, but he was dominant in the 60s. Just absolutely dominant.
Yes.
He's sleeping on Carlton, man.
Carlton's claim to fame, in my mind, is still that Phillies season where they won like 59 games or whatever, and he won like 28 of them.
Right.
It's just crazy. As far as accolades, Carlton obviously. Cy Young's, 4. It's crazy. His cards, just don't.
Nothing.
65. You can get a 65 and a 5 for like $200.
The wife just got me one. It's beautiful, and I mean, she got a deal on it, but compared to the Seaver, which is a card I need, it doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense.
So, if you were to take Seaver's card from 67, remove it from the high series, and issue it in the low numbers, the low number series,
it'll be cut in half, bro.
Yes, I agree. It would be much less.
So would that still be more than what Carlton's rookie sells for?
Yeah, it was. I think.
Is it because that he's a Met, and he was a Met, and I don't know what is it?
I don't know if it'd be less than. I think when people think about pitchers, I think Seaver thought about prior to Carlton.
Yeah.
When it's not coming to beyond the hobby, like all of us will think of Carlton as a great pitcher, but I think when you're just talking to baseball fans, most of them, Seaver's name will come up before Steve Carlton's would.
Well, it's just like anything else. Like you said, card collectors, people who are in the hobby, we know the players, we know the numbers, but
Is it a New York thing?
Yeah, New York is gonna dominate. Dodgers are gonna dominate. Like the fair weather, like my wife would know if you know, she knows a little bit more than most because she shops for the cards for me. But like she knows like she knows like the big names. Like she knows obviously the Jackies, Dodgers. She knows the Snyders. She knows about Dobie because I'm going, but she knows like the big names. But like if you go into the like she wouldn't know Fergie Jenkins. She won't even know about Marichal.
But I wonder if people even know who Steve Carlton. Like if you're not a card collector, what team he was with in his rookie season and his first couple of years? Do people because he bounced around. So that's another reason maybe his. I know Seaver did too, but I mean he's predominantly known as a Met and a White Sox, of course.
I mean, Ryan, you talk about bounce around. Everyone knows Ryan, and Ryan played for half the damn league.
Yeah, but he also played for like 500 years. I mean, you know, he just bounced every Mookie pumps. Never ever talked to Carlton on this. So yeah, I think when most people are talking, I think if it was in a lower series, I do think it'd be a lot cheaper, like Lou said. But I don't know. I still think Carlton will come in at a cheaper cost. I do.
Yeah, extremely cheap.
Yeah.
Or cheaper. I want to say it's cheap.
I'm putting the big guns in there.
Yeah. 100+ wars all over the place.
Why does Hank Aaron's on there?
Great car 68.
Is it Henry? Is that okay? That's why.
Well, you got to do May. You got to do Hammer. You got to do Mays, Mantle.
I'm putting the big four in there.
That's my Mount Rushmore right there, honestly.
And look at Mays. Look at Mays. Gee,
golly, Aaron, bro.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Aaron had. I mean, it's just crazy in comparison. The more at bats.
Clemente died at 38.
Right, he was young.
So he could have played, 2 more years, 3, maybe 3. But yeah, average
12 Gold Gloves. So he's tied with Mays in Gold Gloves. 25 All-Stars, 24. I mean,
I was reading about that. I think back in the day there was like 2 All-Star games.
That is correct. They used to, yeah. So because if you look at the number of years that he played, it didn't match up to 24. But they used to play 2 a year for a couple of years. A year.
Days.
That's wild.
Yeah, plate appearances. Oh, he still had 10,000. Mantle was always banged up, man. 99.
Yeah, and early on with that, with that knee. Early on, otherwise I think his numbers would have been a little more closer to these guys. But look at his on base percentage. Jesus, 421.
420. That's crazy.
His OPS is 977. That's insane.
Yeah. Let me see if we switch it up a little bit. Actually, I'll add Ted Williams.
No, I was gonna say you can take out my boy Clemente. It won't hurt my feelings, but add Stan the Man.
Yeah.
Let's see Stan.
All right. Let's see what results we got here. Yeah. Ted Williams though dominates the other categories.
Well, I was arguing with Hugo. I was like, I'm arguing for the Splinter. I was like, he's arguably the greatest hitter.
482 on base percentage.
Right.
That's insane. He was on base half the time.
Look at his OPS. Yeah, look at his OPS.
That's what's sick.
Crazy.
But
and then as far as accolades,
he's arguably the greatest hitter ever.
I think it's hard to argue that. I'd put a close second. I put Tony Gwynn behind him as a second.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out these guys.
Dude, Gwynn could hit 300 with the number 2 pencil, bro.
Right.
All right, hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, now you. Well, put Harold Baines in there.
What, just for fun?
Don't pick on my guy. Harold
Baines.
That's legend. Oh, that's George Diamond-Yard's guy. Rodney Klein Carew. He converted.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to step away just for a second.
Yeah.
I need to get another. If we're going to keep on going, I'll get another bourbon, bro.
Yeah. Oh, there's no contest.
Look at, Baines got him with the home runs, bro. He's got a green box. He's got a green box.
Let's see. What does Gwyn have here? Well, his WAR is low.
I mean, he played for a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of unfair. I mean, I got to take Cobb out of there, man. I got to take Cobb out.
A 338 batting average, man, is just sick. Man. I'm so happy to have his auto, man. That was an auto I really wanted.
All right, when you take Cobb out of the equation, Gwyn starts to look a little better. 338. Who has the best on base? Carew has the best on base.
Carew with 353.
Yeah, stolen bases. And Gwyn's right behind him, man. That's crazy. Harold Baines has 4 I mean, Harold Baines hit for power, so of course he's going to have that.
Harold Baines is the greatest Hall of Famer of all time.
Hey, people always say he's the bar, the Mendoza line for the Hall of Fame. And I always argue it's Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez is so freaking overrated.
And possibly Jack Morris, if we're talking just players.
The argument's like, oh, he was the best DH. But now that DH is pretty much settled, Martinez's number is going to look like a joke. I mean, yes, you have people looking like David Ortiz coming in there at DH.
Yep.
And his numbers smokes Edgar Martinez.
Shohei never pitches again. He'll be up there. Man. He'll be the permanent DH, just taking care of business.
Let's see. Al Kaline, Roberto. This is Chris from Missouri is requesting this, so let's do a comparison of these two.
It's true. Tony Gwynn was a point guard for Arizona.
San Diego State, I thought. No?
What?
San Diego State.
I said Arizona?
Yeah.
Accolades, Roberto Clemente dominates, but as far as statistics go, majority of Al Kaline takes a majority of it, but again,
400 more games,
a little bit of a longer career. Not that many more hits, but
1,300 more plate appearances. So, yeah,
I mean, percentage a little
higher.
higher.
Was never a power hitter.
No. Everyone's making requests now in the chat.
That's some stuff. Those are stout numbers for Kaline. Another guy who's undervalued.
It kind of goes to show that he.
I love Kaline,
man. Someone's saying, "Put some pants on, Jason."
Dave, you like
Dave,
it?
I missed it.
Dave, where do you see me in the house? I'm gonna be walking around with nothing. It's gonna be phenomenal.
So Stuke wants me to do Gibson, Ruth, Cobb, and Barry Bonds.
Yeah, this would be like just obnoxiously large, insane numbers.
I'm telling you, watching Bonds was a pleasure. I mean,
it was even when you knew it, it was still must see TV. I mean, I lived about 3 or 4 blocks away from Wrigley Field in '98 when Sosa, McGuire, and Junior were all hitting the homers, and I'm not a Cubs fan, I'm a Sox fan, but I lived in Wrigleyville, and it was such an amazing summer. I was a kid. I was 20, 24, 25.
I'm not into hypocrisy, but the fact that Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame,
right?
Everything out the window. It's like, if that mother trucker's in,
right,
then you gotta let. And I talked about this on my live stream too. You can't. They pick and choose because Ortiz. I don't care what anyone says. He failed 2 tests.
Right.
You got Pudge, who I love, prototypical catcher, best defensive catcher of my generation, possibly ever. And just look at the locker room he was in. You got Juan Gonzalez,
Palmeiro,
Rafael Palmeiro, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, Canseco, A-Rod, and Pudge. But Pudge is the only one that was clean. Okay.
You could trip and fall on a needle in that locker room.
Bro, just look at Pudge's forehead. It's like 5 head.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Look at Ruth. Look at Ruth's numbers, though. Look at his WAR, 182.
Yeah, that's quite striking.
Yeah. I shoot, but I mean, Bonds is second with 160. I was looking at Cobb, like, dang, 151. Then I look at Bonds, 162.
That's insane. 3 of the 4 OPSs are above 900. 1.1, 1.1, and 1.1. That's crazy. That's crazy. I look at what cracks me up about Bonds: 500 stolen bases. You know, when he was young, before he was all jacked up on the goop.
He was a little bit of a different player in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was skinny and snagging bases.
Let's see. So Orlando wants. I'm guessing he wants Honus Wagner.
Yeah, Cobb, Wagner,
No.
Ruth.
All right.
It's just fun looking at how insane these numbers are.
Yeah. Damn. Honus Wagner doesn't get any green on the stat.
And he's got a WAR 131.
Oh man.
With a lifetime batting average of 328.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Right, exactly.
Like I like doing matchups. Like it'd be nice to see Jackie, Doby, Minoso. I need a fourth. Who'd be a good fourth one to put in there?
Mark wants to see Tris Speaker on this one.
Oh, he's insane numbers. Insane numbers.
Home run Baker in there while you at it.
All right, might as well.
Jackie, I'm trying to think of your fourth. What'd you say? Jackie Doby.
I said Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, Minnie Minoso. I need a fourth. Who'd be a good
Hey man.
Are you talking all bridge players, or could it be Ernie Banks?
Oh yeah, Banks.
Oh, Banks in.
They too. I think Banks will win a lot of those categories though.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
You know, I mean, he was a stud.
Well, at least Tris Speaker has an MVP or batting an MVP. He's tied with Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb for one MVP.
Cap Hansen in that mother trucker.
Lifetime batting average of 345 and
not good enough. Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Slacker.
You suck.
Ty Cobb hit better. Just saying.
Chris from Missouri, Monty Irving would have been a good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Monty Irving. Good call.
All right.
Chris.
So what's the next one? What are you guys mentioning? What players?
Jackie, Doby.
Yeah.
Monty Irving, and one more. You said, Lou, I'm missing.
Minnie Minoso.
Minnie.
Is it Larry Doby? Okay. Larry Doby.
Because you put Banks, I think Banks would just totally dominate.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Runs.
What was the fourth one? Minoso, and who's the fourth one?
Monty Irving.
I think Jackie might get most of these.
Let's see what we got. Monty Irving got
Minnie, bro.
Minnie. He played forever. He played forever.
Okay, put Minnie versus Julio Franco now.
Compilers, man. Compilers.
Right.
That's actually pretty cool. 13 All-Stars. I'm telling you, Minnie's the man, dude.
He's my guy. He's one of my guys. We don't get to hang our hats on a lot of White Sox fans, but he's one of them.
A little bit later. But.
All right, here's one I want to put up that I think is a lot of people don't give him as much credit. Versus,
I mean, Frank Robinson got 2 MVPs.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy, huh?
Man, I didn't know he was that close to 600.
Yeah.
That's
More
RBIs.
I mean, when it comes to accolades, obviously Mantle just wipes the floor, but
right.
But does he with accolades?
20. I mean, championships, MVPs.
I thought you meant individual. I mean, 3-2. Everything is the same.
No, it's roughly the same. But I mean, I'm just looking at individual accolades. Yeah, yes, they're roughly the same. But overall, like team accomplishments.
Oh yeah, bro, he was a Yankee.
Yeah, exactly.
Those 50s Yankees, man. Look at Barra, bro.
I know.
They're pretty similar numbers, though, right?
Yeah, man.
Slugging's right there. OPS is right there. Average is right there.
War's right there.
Yeah.
They're very similar. They're comparable.
I like that. That's an excellent.
That could be a guy who's on the rise. Like we were talking earlier, Lou. We said who's the next guy? Larry Doby. I mean, at some point in time, people got to recognize what Frank did.
Frank had a little uptick. I snatched his 57.
Okay.
I got that. I need the Brooks Robinson. That's the last 57.
That thing's starting. That's climbing a little bit, although everything seems to be dropping. But that's the most expensive one out of them, right? When it comes to the rookies, between the Drysdale and Robinson.
The most expensive.
Yeah.
But you talk about people. I always love, and I get it too. you know, you want the story. I'm saving up for the national. I'm saving up for the national, and I always do a video like I can't stop. I won't stop because, bruh, I mean, leading up to the national, no one's online buying.
Right, right.
This is crazy.
Offer out there. I'm like, I said something to John, bro, this is up your alley. And he said he lowballed the guy and was surprised the guy accepted right away.
And he snagged it up, right? Yeah. Greg has mentioned that on Midlife Cards. I mean, Midlife Sports Cards. He's been saying now's the time to go online, you know, and snack stuff up. Nobody's buying. Yeah. Greg, I said Greg, and all of a sudden we're gonna look at Greg Nettles.
Well, that's no, because Scott wants to take a look.
Oh, okay.
That's for Hernandez. Ooh, Brad 31 has an excellent one. These are the type of matches I like seeing. Campy, Berra, Bench.
Yeah.
I think people will be surprised with Berra.
All right. Yeah, let me do that. Berra. Let's do that.
Did you guys see that Berra documentary? That was
no, I haven't. Everybody talks about how awesome.
Oh my gosh. It'll bring a tear to your eye.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. You're talking about the one on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
Yeah. People, I mean, I know Bench is pretty much the go-to for catching, but man.
I threw Piazza in there as well.
I'd throw Irod in there before I throw Piazza.
Yeah, that's not a homer pick if I saw it.
Look at the numbers. So Piazza.
Piazza was considered the greatest offensive catcher, but he was a favor to his godfather.
Berra's numbers are pretty close.
I'm going to take Piazza out because I just threw him in there. Because he's the only offensive Met that, to me, is like...
Throwing Ron Karkovice while you're at it.
All right, here's your numbers between the three. On base percentage, Roy steals it. Slugging, OPS.
More ribbies, more batting average.
But Yogi's close on everything.
Yeah, but look at the MVPs. Let's look at these MVPs.
Well, Roy is 3.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I told you that, but...
Yeah, I mean, they're very close on MVPs.
Look at the championships. That's the 10-2.
Yeah. When did they start giving out the Gold Glove?
I don't know what year they did.
57. Somebody mentioned earlier it's 57, I think.
57? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know the Cy Young was 60. They all gave one out for a long time.
Yeah, and then they split it into leagues.
Yeah.
Might be another card on my list. I was looking at the Cy Young Cogan's chips.
I need the 48, and I'll be done with that little Mount Rush. Who's the fourth catcher?
For another catcher
for the catcher of Mount Rushmore, Yogi, Campanella, Bench,
Bill Dickey.
Dickey's the fourth.
It's either him or Rodriguez, Ivan Rodriguez. Yachty. I know you don't like that.
I'm lucky I'm not hosting. I'll put you on timeout.
This page took a while to load. They really had to look for the Bill Dickey stuff.
He's got a better WAR than Campanella. Much longer career, I think, though, actually. Leading all of them in batting average.
Yeah.
13, man.
Yeah. One for him, Yogi wouldn't be Yogi.
Yeah, Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson.
Yeah.
Not Rushmore, yep.
This is a conversation that Jake and Dom would be having right now. This is like we're kind of
yeah, but they'd be busting in the analytics way more than we are.
We're
yeah. Sometimes I mean, analytics is fun, but I mean they just get into the numbers.
Right.
Sometimes I'm a big eyeball test guy. Like some of the stuff they're talking about, like they were arguing Joe Mauer. Not once have I ever feared Joe Mauer in that lineup. I was like, not once that I was like, oh, he's a nice player. Never once that I say Joe Mauer's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, that cat.
Actually, in that lineup, Justin Morneau was the guy.
That's what I said. I'm like, Justin Morneau is the one that I was worried about. Doug Mankiewicz, I was more worried about.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a Minnesota guy. He could chime in.
He's no power. Okay, he's a slap ball hitter at catcher. Okay, great. Good for you. not even that great of a catcher. He played half his career at damn DH and first base.
Correct. Right.
But he's gonna go
Wow.
in-
I thought that was a good. All three of these were good. Did someone recommend that, Sammy, or did you just call those up?
No, well, I think maybe somebody did, but this one I just remember Dom and Jake really talking about these three together.
I actually thought Munson would have cleared the slate on a lot of these. I'm surprised by that, actually. Again, short career.
I'm glad you brought that one up because I'm a big Buster Posey guy, but I'm thinking more towards playoffs because he was pivotal in the playoffs.
They're still looking for his replacement, aren't they?
And that damn MVP that Maurer stole from Jeter, I don't even count that.
Yeah, that was messed up, man. Jeter just had a
Jeter's MVP.
lights out year. That was crazy.
That was dope.
So who was it? Chris mentioned. I'm getting a lot of recommendations here. Let me see. All right, he wants me to compare Yachty to Salvador Perez.
Oh, he's borderline Hall of Fame. He's right there, Salvador Perez.
Hey, I put Perez as a Hall of Famer over Yachty any day.
He is right there.
Phenomenal.
Bro. Perez is having a great year.
He's just
and he has a championship. Well, I guess Yachty does too.
His batting, yeah, he's got a. I think if you get, yeah.
The thing with Yachty, I don't want to say he's a compiler because that catcher is different. If you can play that long at catcher,
right,
that's an ability that a lot of people don't have. So that's a punishing position. He didn't go the Maurer route. He played catcher phenomenally for a long time. But I mean, I like Salvi.
He's right on the edge, I think.
Going in a different
I
direction.
have a couple more years. You know, if he gets to he'll be up there for offensive catchers.
I need to go get my Kansas Jayhawks glass and have a beer on that because I know Chris would thoroughly enjoy that. He's a huge Jayhawks fan. He loves my hat, by the way.
Brad 31. I like this Brad 31. I don't think I know Brad, but it's true. Compiler. I always make fun of the compilers. I mean, that's still a benefit to be playing in a sport that long. It's not really a detriment that you're a compiler because if you're still playing in the game and you're allowed to build up stats, you're good.
Something to be said for it, right? You gotta get right.
To do it at catcher, it's not like Pujols, where Pujols is, trying to hit milestones.
Right.
It's tough, and I agree. That's why Simmons is in because he played for a long time, did it well. That's why Ted Simmons is a Hall of Famer, and that's a dope rookie card to have. 71 tops.
Yeah, I actually just got it not too long ago.
That's a nice card. I like that card. I enjoy mine. The LouRok slab, LouRokTV.
Him and the Bly 11. Those were the big ones in 71.
Yep.
Keith Hernandez. Is that Mookie asking that?
No, that was Diamond Gems is asking about that.
That's a great one.
Wow.
Probably the two best defensive first basemen of all time.
That is eye-opening, though. Look at his numbers compared to Mattingly, and no one ever. And wow, actually, that is eye-opening.
Mr. Seinfeld is.
He's got some numbers.
Yeah, he's got some numbers, man. He definitely ran a lot more.
All mustache team right there. All Century mustache team.
Yeah. That belongs to
20 gold gloves between the two of them.
Raleigh's up there for the mustache team.
No, this belongs. If we're gonna do mustache team, you got to put John Titus.
No, we're just
and Goose Gossage.
No,
a little catfish hunter.
Not catfish. Yeah.
Rob Beck has like a big.
We do Jim Hunt. Wait, why does it come out as catfish or?
No, it's Jim. It's Jim.
No,
Hunt.
it does come out. It does.
Oh,
no,
does
it
it
comes
really?
out as catfish. Yeah. Let's see. This is the most lopsided search. Oh man, you can't even
compile.
Get it. You can't get it for John Titus. I was hoping I would get a picture of him using like this T206 card or something like that.
That's phenomenal.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, that's fun stuff just to do all that.
Yeah, this live stream took a turn, didn't it? Sorry.
Yeah,
It
they
always
always do, right?
Greatest
Typically
living, so what was the answer? Who's the best living Hall of Famer?
Yeah, what was the chat's feeling? I'm curious.
You're not reading the chat, bro.
Yeah, there's 5 of them left. Is there 5 people in the chat?
We got 34 people.
Still? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
34 people hanging out.
There's some dedicated
You're
fellas.
welcome. They know LouRok was on the stream. They had
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. But
Mark
finish off with the greatest relief pitcher of all time, Mr.
100%,
Mariano.
baby. 100%. Only person.
No argument there.
But Eckersley still has a better WAR. And he has 361 games started versus 10.
I was
right.
gonna say, he had a little bit of a different.
I will say 390 saves is nothing to. No, yeah, that's pretty good.
No,
I mean,
you know what? Be a good comparison. Throw John Smoltz, because I always
that is a good comparison.
When Smoltz went from starter to closer, it wasn't necessarily because he couldn't handle the starting position. It's because he had he had nasty stuff. So they needed him. They needed him to close. So he took one for the team.
I mean, Smoltz destroys him in numbers.
Well, because innings pitched isn't that much more though. That's what's surprising.
No, but
200 more innings. I thought he might have had more saves. I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. Actually,
I really thought he had more saves. Honestly.
But Eckersley has him on the MVP. Also, I mean, Eckersley, he's.
Yeah, give me Eck.
He's another guy who plays for everybody.
I really thought Smoltz would be a lot closer. You know what? I'm very disappointed in Smoltz.
He's off the list.
You're banished. Get out of here. This is like Battle Dome. Smoltz just lost. Next.
Yeah, this is a good one. Put Brooks up there too.
Andrew agrees with me. Ricky Henderson is the best living player.
We're Stooks. I need my Stooks support on my junior case.
Bro, I can argue Trout. So, Griffey's out. If we were just saying best living player,
Pujols.
Yeah, La Máquina. He's in there. He's inner circle. 700 home runs.
Who is? Let me see.
Should I even Miggy, man? Miggy, the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Such a rarity. I love it, dude.
Well, that's what you were saying about Yastrzemski as well, right? I mean, that's like a stat above all.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Even Jose Abreu has an MVP.
Hey, Jose was my guy.
Hey, he might be your guy again. Houston couldn't wait to get rid of his ass. They're
right now he's out of the league. I think right now.
What a terrible! And when they signed him, I'm like, man, what a sneaky good move to pair him with Jordan.
Yep. And,
man,
he didn't do squat with him. Didn't do anything.
Especially going from Chicago to Houston, I thought he was going to crush it.
Right.
I think he's older than he's telling people.
I got a couple of his rookie cards if you want one.
A lot of Jose's, bro.
Right.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it.
Excellent.
That was a good ending, though. Yeah, I think we're gonna try this. I don't know. I guess we'll talk, Jason, but we'll try this again next week. And similar to LouRok, we'll bring somebody on. It's always a fun thing, especially when there's alcohol involved.
That's right.
I said my boy Cy Guy likes to drink. He's a great guy.
We'll get all the booze hounds on. I'll bring a different beer on every time.
I know my boy Jimmy Guns could drink.
Yeah.
Pepito drinks and smokes.
No, I can't
Or,
do that here.
If you can't find nobody, I'm always down to drink and talk cards.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I have to look at the name of I can't remember the title of this, so I'm gonna have to instill it in my brain.
Cards and cold brew. Cards and cold brew.
Card brew and cold and yeah.
Cold brew sounds like coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Cold ones.
Cold ones are good.
Cold cardboard and one's beer. I don't know. But thank you guys. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Jason. Thank you guys in the chat. We'll be back next week with another guest, and we'll figure out something to talk about. But thank you guys again. Have a good rest of your night. Take care.
With every episode, I want to see something different in your room, Jay. I want to see the wall painted. I need a shelf. Like, just
gonna have to happen.
I want to see progress in every week.
You might see the whole room done by next week.
Take care, everybody.